Hi, welcome back to the Chin Up Talk Show. I'm Kenneth Chin, and we've been talking about boy-girl relationships in our last show. Today, we want to start off where we left off last time, which we were talking about dating and this whole thing about sexual purity and the media. Now, I want to talk about that for a while because pornography is one of the biggest business, if not the biggest business in our world today. And doesn't that affect our young people by the way they go on dates and what they expect out of their dates, etc.
This warps their sense of reality. It's not really real. Things like that don't actually really happen in real life, but they are into it so much they think that they can translate that to their own lives. They feel like the person they're watching, and they try to recreate that and find that it's not possible or that it's not as close to what they watch. So the sense of reality is warped.
Someone once told me that people's excuse for going into pornography is so that they can widen their creativity, their whole scope of experimentation. But he said, of course, that studies show, and of course, you don't even have to get into rocket science, but just from different people's experiences, they will tell you actually porn does narrow down creativity and narrow down your expectations and all that kind of stuff. What do you think about that?
People say that, when you get more exposure, you know how to treat your girl better. But actually it doesn't. It actually narrows it because scientifically, I can't say which medical journal, but I know we've read and I've heard different ones say that the brain is such a powerful organ that is, given to us by God. And, with every act or every picture that you see, that imprint remains in us. And all of those endorphins that are released makes you happy, and that's how you get into orgasm and stuff. Those imprints are there for life. And so when someone watches a porn scene, it makes them feel, it creates something in them, and then, there's probably some form of gratification and a release. Now, when they try to reenact that with their girlfriends,
which they eventually will.
I'm not sure. I've never heard. Nobody dares own up. But from what we understand is that girls are not made with male hormones to be able to give that kind of a high. And usually the women in the porn shows are acting.
Sure.
They're
paid to do it.
They're paid to do
and
it.
They don't like to do it as well.
They probably don't like to do it. Most of them don't. But because
for the money.
And they need to feed their kids. But in reality, your girlfriend or a guy's girlfriend may not always come up to that same expectation as what you caught on the porn show.
Sure.
So, and most times it could be a force, or unless the girl herself is really wired in such a way where she's just, sex hungry. And maybe, it is possible. I'm not saying anything. But most times, women are meant to be loved and showered on. And
so most times our young people are buying into a lie. And why we say is narrowing their minds down is because they go, I like this way, this is the only way, and therefore I want to practice it on my girlfriend, but this is the only way. And then later on my wife, this is the only way, but yet they are not wired like that. That's not the only thing they do, and yet actually romance can be so much more creative, so much more in depth. But because you are so you're so bought into that porn or that particular scene of that particular way, you can only be gratified that way, and so therefore porn actually narrows down creativity and even romance rather than expands
expectations and all.
Sure. It makes you narrow-minded about how you look at yourself as well, because obviously nobody in real life actually looks like that, and it narrows down the type of life partner or type of girl they're looking for, the type of physique that they must have, and they must respond to sex with a yes. You never see any porn, say no, we will not be doing it, and scene. It's always yes to the man, and it's also narrow mind for if girls watch it, how they feel about themselves. They're not pretty enough, or the men watch it and then they say, oh, that's how girls like it, or for the girls as well. Oh no, I must be that submissive to find love. And then your mind gets narrow, it gets warped. Everything goes kaput.
When we are caught in the trap of pornography, for men, or even women for that sake, if you finally end up in a marriage, and if your partner, is slow to perform, and you're already on a high, you're probably likely to self-gratify yourself at some toilet, because she's too slow or he's too slow.
Sure.
So you've actually watered down the whole beauty of marriage, and where there's not only romance, but there's care and fulfillment that can be given through husband and wife, just in the environment of love rather than lust. So nobody ever tells us that. I mean, it's only those who are brave enough to say, I'm actually suffering now from the consequences of overwatching pornography, overdoing something.
Sure.
Nobody wants to stand up and speak up. So,
we didn't get a chance to talk about STDs. Maybe we should take just a little bit of time just to highlight some of these things. For example, the thing out there is that just wear a condom. But we've heard before that condom might hinder you from getting a child, but not necessarily from sexually transmitted diseases. Let's highlight some of these stuff.
It's important to realize that STDs are real, and the possibilities of catching an STD is high. And a condom it's birth control. That's the main product, the main use of that thing is birth control. Everything else that somehow it protects you from STDs, it's a helpful byproduct. And we all know that STDs transmit through bodily fluid, through an open womb. So you're not just talking about a condom can protect your mouth. If you have an ulcer, and you smooch with someone, something gets transmitted. You've got oral STDs as well nowadays. And it's not, and also condoms fail. Condom companies will never tell you that, our products fail. They'll say that our products work and it protects STD. We cannot deny that it does play a part. But nothing's foolproof. It's high.
And not all STDs have very obvious symptoms. Sometimes they don't show up until later, and so you're contracting it without knowing it.
You're passing on.
One of the STDs that is easily is the skin-to-skin disease, which is human papilloma virus, HPV, which is the highest cause for cervical cancer in a lot of women. And for many, you have genital warts. I mean, you never show that to the girl, it's all happening in the dark. And, you have warts on your private part and nobody sees it. But it's a type of STD that's past a skin-to-skin disease. So you may never have to actually do full intercourse, but just because you have something on your skin, the contact, you already are able to contract this disease, HPV. And condoms, while they do help, we can't deny that there is a purpose for it, birth control. It doesn't always work, all the time. Perhaps 80% of the time, there are stats. However, for a young teenager who's coming into discovery of his own body, and the excitement of experiencing, just all of this endorphins, how many times do they actually place the condom at the right time and perfectly fit before they, enter into intercourse with the girl? Most times it's, they're probably too excited. They can't control themselves. They're already halfway in. It's too late. And it slips off, it bursts. Nobody ever says this to us. But if you were to talk to the young persons themselves and research, there are researchers in England and other parts of the world that show that perfect use of the condom will and can help most times. But as we know, young people are not that responsible. Your first time experiencing a high, you're like, wow, where's the condom? It's too late. And so, you revert.
Too shy to buy it as well.
Probably too shy. You just revert to getting the girls to go on birth control, which is female, young girls taking birth control at the teenage years. That is just going to destroy their whole reproductive system. At some point, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but you can't be taking, birth control from a young age when your body is still developing for young girls. I don't know.
But anything chemical can't be good in the long run.
I know some people say, oh, have you got medical proof? I mean, today it's no longer just medical proof. Today is looking at broken lives. Lives, I speak for the women mainly. They're lost. And emptiness begets emptiness. It's a vicious cycle. You look for love, you try sex, and then while you know it's not healthy, it's not helpful, the girls continue an abusive cycle because that's all they know about love, right, is to give my body away. And so, whether you're using protection or not, and most of them may be carriers of a particular sexually transmitted disease.
But that's what we were saying in the last show, that it's not just a physical act. There's so many more things involved in that, and primarily self-worth and value and significance that they carry into their adulthood and for the rest of their lives. So that's important to note.